Because in 1 week's time, I will be standing in this ring 1 year strong. No end in sight, WWE champion, because on Sunday at Survivor Series, I will beat Ryback. I will beat John Cena, just like I have before. And honestly, King, from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're back. And on Sunday, I'm glad you're going to have a front row seat to watch me do exactly what I say I'm going to do. Just try not to croak before the pay-per-view, okay?
I'll do my best not to. But as I see it, the only thing that's on life support is your run as WWE champion.
Oh, good one, King. You know, perhaps if you feel that strongly about it, maybe you want to get in the ring. Paul.
Somebody get out here! Somebody get out here!
I just saved your life.
2.
I just saved your life.
1.
You gotta move up.
He's okay. He's okay. My God, Paul, you almost gave me a heart attack.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, ooh yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you. Bring you all kinds of stuff to talk about after having off last week. We've got a Turning Point review coming up later in the hour. We've, of course, we've got a Survivor Series preview, as you heard the old school Survivor Series music in the background, and we've certainly got a lot to talk about with that. I've got my predictions certain to go wrong for the pay-per-view tomorrow, but leading things off, Jerry Lawler back in the commentator's booth 2 months after having a heart attack. And I guess the question I want to throw to all of you out there is, did CM Punk and Paul Heyman go too far in generating heat by having Heyman simulate a heart attack in the ring and, of course, Punk playing along with it? There are certainly two sides to the coin, and I've kind of been sitting on both of them. I think that maybe the actual having or mocking of the heart attack, I think, is where they cross the line, as opposed to just making fun of Lawler. I think even the don't croak before the pay-per-view, I think that is perfectly acceptable given Punk's character and looking looking for that I guess edge as far as heat. And I don't know. Looking at the Facebook feedback, I know John from Northeast Philly and Dan from Chicago have been going back and forth on it. John thinking that it's tasteless, and Dan thinking I didn't exactly go too far. And Dan's on the line. We'll get to him in a little bit. Just some back and forth quotes. John saying the ratings suggest that he did go too far. That's why fewer people watched after that aired. I felt the need to respond that that particular part of Raw was in the second hour. The third hour numbers had declined pretty much every week since Raw has gone to 3 hours back in July. So it's not necessarily an indicator. Those same 100,000 people who either turned the TV off or flipped the channel would have done so anyway. And then, of course, some personal things being brought into it. Dan referencing Ric Flair's simulated heart attack from back in '97. In case people forgot, Ric Flair did an interview in WCW where he got so fired up that he grabbed his chest and got taken away on a stretcher, implying that he had a heart attack on Monday Nitro back in '97. John arguing back in the other side that Flair or anyone in that building didn't die. So I don't know. Where does that line go when it comes to near-death scenarios? Also, Owen Hart was brought up in the whole thing, and Eddie Guerrero, as far as, where that line is of exploiting death. There's a lot of different directions that can be gone in it and or gone with that, and we can certainly get your thoughts on that, as we certainly already have on Facebook and can do so on the air as well. We've also got the Survivor Series pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. Since the last time I was on the air, we had the election. Linda McMahon, 0 for 2 now in her Senate bids, losing in the race for Senator of Connecticut to Democrat Chris Murphy, 55% to 43%, an overwhelming loss for Linda McMahon. Between the two campaigns, this is a staggering number. McMahon has spent almost $100 million of her personal wealth in the unsuccessful bids. That's part of that's coming out of Vinnie Mac's pocket, Vince McMahon, and given the struggles as of late with the stocks and everything else, and I've got a story about that coming up a little bit later. Certainly not good news for the McMahon family. Linda McMahon 0 for 2 in the Senate bids. Let's go ahead. We'll get a couple of callers out of the way. We got people already chomping at the bit on this, and I know Old School's been waiting for a little bit, so we'll start with him first, get him taken care of. Old School, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How's it going? What's going on with Ric Flair?
Ric Flair, well, right now he's in limbo at the moment. He's no longer under contract with TNA, but WWE, it's been rumored whether or not they've wanted to sign him, but he's kind of not really involved in things, only because that lawsuit between TNA and WWE, TNA saying that WWE has personnel who's kind of on the inside with TNA as far as contract negotiations and things, and is basically waiting for certain individuals' contracts to be up to try to lure them over, and Flair was allegedly one of them. So Flair's doing some independent bookings and autograph things and whatnot, and just kind of biding his time until this lawsuit blows over, and then I guess it seems like he'll more than likely make his way over to WWE.
Okay, what's going on with Jerry Lawler? I know he had a heart attack a while back.
Well, he made his return to Raw this past Monday, and thanks so much for the call. I'll give you the update as we move along here. Yeah, he's back on Raw. Obviously, he's going to be doing the commentary again, but doctors have cleared him to go back to work. How long it'll be before he's back in the ring, if he is back in the ring again, which it looks like he has every indication to, that still remains to be seen. That probably won't be until the new year at least. I mean, having a heart attack, it's one thing to do some limited physical activity. It's another to go into a ring and wrestle at the age of 62. So it's certainly hard to say there. Anyway, we'll okay, we still got a couple minutes before we take care of some business. So a couple of other bits of news and notes. Scott Steiner, speaking of lawsuits, he's filing one against TNA for allowing Jeff Hardy to wrestle under the influence of alcohol and possibly drugs. At least that's the claim. Steiner saying he suffered nerve damage in his shoulder as a result of Hardy's, quote, reckless drunken wrestling, according to a Nashville website. Steiner is seeking $750,000 in damages, including the loss of consortium for his wife. So interesting to see where that goes there. Steiner's been in some back and forth legal issues after just finishing being an employee with TNA and having some rather interesting tweets and other postings on social media regarding TNA, Hulk Hogan, some derogatory jabs to say the least. So they've been back and forth in a lawsuit and countersuit on that particular issue. Also, The Rock, he lands a huge movie role, but will he be at WrestleMania, or might this movie role take him out of it? The Rock landing the lead in the forthcoming movie Hercules, based on the graphic novel Hercules, the Thracian Wars. Shooting is set to begin sometime in early 2013, meaning that the project could be going on while Rock is working with WWE leading into WrestleMania 29. So he may be taking a few red eyes to get back and forth from where he's shooting to wherever Raw might be on a particular Monday night, or even to the pay-per-view setting of MetLife Stadium for April 7th, 2013. And also this past Saturday, tickets went on sale for WrestleMania 29, and they've already hit a sales record. WWE setting a record by selling 52,029 tickets during the first day of the first on-sale date for WrestleMania 29, beating the record of 51,620 from back in WrestleMania 28. Also the highest grossing ticket revenue after one day, with over $10 million, which topped last year's $6.3 million one-day gross. So as much as people say wrestling is on the decline, people still get hyped up for WrestleMania. I guess there's a reason it is referred to as the Super Bowl of wrestling. Anyway, we'll take care of some business, take a time out, and we'll come back. We'll get to Dan, who's been hanging on the line. I've got some other audio clips for you as well, and we'll get into some other things. Plus, I've still got my predictions certain to go wrong for the Survivor Series tomorrow, and we've also got a TNA Turning Point update, the results from this past Sunday's pay-per-view. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly, here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.